Hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. So I've got Niii Niii standing by from Blue Lines TV. We're going to be having an opposition preview. Niii Niii, how we doing, mate? You alright? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me on. Been looking forward to this.
You're not a fake fan, are you? Don't tell me you're a fake Chelsea fan. Come on, do you go to games?
Yeah, I've been out for a long time. Since my first game I went to was when we beat Sunderland 4-0. That was when Gus Poyet scored like this bicycle kick and then Zola scored from a free kick. So
I remember Mario Stanic done that. Was it the year before, the year after he'd done it in between Poyet, wasn't he?
I think so. But again, probably don't remember. I was really young back then.
Right, so over the summer, the world's worst kept secret was unveiled that Antonio Conte, we all knew that he was going, Al knew that, and Maurizio Sarri come in, which again wasn't a big massive secret, but is there any changes so early on in this season? Can you notice the difference what he's trying to implement amongst your lads, amongst your lot?
I mean, that's the thing. I can't even say small changes. It's been drastic changes. And like you could see the immediate changes from our first pre-season game against Perth Glory. I mean, you know, under guys like Conte and Mourinho, we used to defend off the ball, sit deep, soak up pressure. Complete opposite. You know, we play with a very high line with our back four. We press very high in the opponent's half. We put all our men forward as well. We really congest the pitch too. And again, the way we play out from the back is so quick, it's so sharp, it's so fluid in the final third as well. And it's the passing, a lot of one-touch passes, one-touch, two-touch, one-touch, two-touch. And it's really been great to see. And like the amazing thing is, the team still aren't even fully 100% suited yet to Sarri ball. And I think maybe in the next 3 or 4 games, I think we'll be 100% ready then.
Just coming off subject, everyone's going on saying that Liverpool are going to be Manchester City's rivals up there with competing for the title at the end of the season. Where do you see yourselves? Do you see yourselves amongst it, or do you think that will be Manchester City versus Liverpool for the title?
I think there's 3 title contenders. I think we're definitely up there. I think that with that style of football we play, that's going to give us the advantage. Like I was saying last year, you know, when City won the league, for my season preview, I kept making the point that the reason why I feel Man City are 1000% winning this is because I see them getting the most points against the bottom 14 clubs in the Premier League. I knew that with all the top clubs, they'll be taking points off from each other. But I knew that Man City were the best at really getting points more than the other clubs in the league. And I think that, again, Liverpool, they showed something similar as well. And I think with us too, and I think it's down to that football we play, you know, high pressing, high line, one touch, skill, dribbling, fluidity. It makes a big difference.
Right then, let's talk about Newcastle, if that's how right. So Newcastle then, what do you really think of Newcastle? Obviously you're from down London, you're looking at it from an outside perspective. You see Newcastle in the media quite a lot. It seems to be bad press a lot lately, but how, from a Chelsea perspective, how do you see Newcastle at the moment?
Yeah, I think looking at Newcastle, I don't know, I've always felt, I don't think that Newcastle are fulfilling their ambition. I don't know, and I think it's always come down to the management higher up. And this is how I always see it. You know, if you want a team to be successful, it doesn't start from the coach or the players. It starts from the people higher up at the club, because they're the ones that make those decisions that are going to benefit you. You know, are you going to make the right signings to back the manager? Are you going to have that philosophy in play where, okay, we sign a certain type of player? And it was weird because a few years ago when you guys had like, you know, Cisse, Demba Ba, Ben Arfa, Cabaye, you know, Newcastle were really on the up then. And I was thinking, you know, this is a pretty genius plan to obviously get players from the French league for a decent price, to have a good market value. And I don't know. I don't know what happened to Alan Pardew. I don't know. I just don't know what happened to him. The football you played beforehand, it seemed like he changed things up the second season once, I think Bar left. And then, yeah, I think maybe the squad just wasn't really, you know, working together. And I think that makes a big difference when the team aren't together and there's divisions in the group, in the squads. You're not going to play together as a team.
Do you not feel that like there's always like a self-destruct button amongst everybody up here?
Yeah, there always is. And again, it comes from the upper management, from guys like Mike Ashley and people on the boards. I don't know, it seems like there's no direction so far. I'm always saying, you know, for teams to be successful, you need to have a philosophy in place. And I'm not understanding the philosophy at Newcastle so far. I mean, yeah, I think you made some underrated signings. I think Muto, Rondon especially, I think he's always been an underrated player. Getting Kennedy as well. Of course, Dubravka, that's how you say it, right? Dubravka. he's been looking very good as well. And he managed to keep Lascelles, and Shelby is, I feel very underrated. So there's definitely a lot of potential. But I don't think Benitez needed millions and millions, but I just think he needed a little bit more. We're selling Mitrovic for that much money. Reinvest it a bit.
Now, just touching on Rafa Benitez, obviously he's managed Chelsea, he's managed Newcastle. Rafa up here is absolutely loved, he really is. Now, Chelsea fans are quite hit and miss on him. Some people hate him for what he said about Liverpool when he was at Liverpool, what he said about Chelsea. He came into Chelsea, obviously he came in as an interim manager, he won the Europa League with you. Where do you stand? Are you for or against him?
Now, for me, I don't like to see myself as like one of those like cliche football fans that like to spout the same rhetoric, and I like to be objective. And honestly, my personal opinion, I had no issue with Rafa Benitez. Obviously, I understand how the industry works in that sense. I thought he did a good job as well. I think with Rafa Benitez too, I think he's always been someone that's good for youth players. The guy used to be Real Madrid's youth team manager back in the day, and he's always develops young players and keeps his arm around them. And I think that at that time, guys like Eden Hazard were like, 21 years old. That Chelsea team was very young, and I think that for him to come, during the second half of that season, to get the team playing consistently, to get us to win the Europa League on top of that as well, especially when the crowd weren't there. They used to boo him. They used to sing for Di Matteo and other managers before that. He had a lot of pressure going against him, and I think it does really say something about the man too, and he was able to just ignore all of that and just deliver. Yeah, as I think for me, I don't understand how any Chelsea fan really can have a go at him. I mean, he won us a trophy end of the day. And I think, he did a very good job here.
Now, the player that is going to be missing, I think we will miss him big time this weekend, is Kennedy. He's ineligible because he's unable to play. Yes, and he was poor against Cardiff, kicked out and missed his penalty, but he seems to be loaned out. Chelsea seem to have this thing where they loan a lot of their players out. Where is he going to be? Does he have a future at Chelsea? Or has he got a bright future? Where do you see his career going?
Yeah, I mean, with Kennedy, I could actually go on for an hour when it comes to him. I think he's been a player that's always been misused. I mean, when we signed him from Fluminense, the guy played on the right. And in a way, Hulk, remember Hulk at Porto? Yeah. For me, I think they're very similar stylistically. I mean, Kennedy's got a ridiculously powerful shot. I personally feel like he'd be better on the right-hand side compared to the left-hand side because he is able to cut in and take shots. And again, Chelsea, it just sums up how we treat youth players. Now, it's a bit of a side note, but like a few months ago, I actually had Nathaniel Chalobah on my channel, and we were just talking about, how come youth players really struggle at teams like Chelsea. At one point, he kept trying to stress all the time is, it doesn't come down to not being good enough. A lot of times, there's like the politics behind the scenes. For example, let's say you've got let's say for example Pedro is on like 100 and something thousand. He's always going to get the priority because of obviously his contract clauses and the money behind it. And Chalobah kept stressing, there's big money behind things, so this is why people don't like to take risks. And again, it came to the detriment of guys like Kennedy. I think Kennedy's still a fantastic player. I think he's going to have a great season. I think his form last year was really good, and how I see it is like the guy's barely played football. I mean, he's 22 years old. He's barely played for us. Most times he has played, he's been playing as a left back or wing back, coming on as a sub. And to do what he did last year, barely playing any football, really shows you that individual talent he has. And I think this is the great thing about Benitez. Like, I remember reading about Kennedy's when he was interviewed about Rafa, and he's just praising him and saying how he's looked after him, put an arm around him. That's typical Rafa. And I think that it's no surprise why Kennedy really wanted to stay at Newcastle and continue his loan spell there. But I think that with Chelsea, I don't think he'll have a future now. I think it's not even because of him not being good enough. I think it comes down to that thing in China. With Chelsea, we're trying to get a lot of commercial deals in Asia. And yes, the market we're trying to target. I mean, obviously, it makes sense. The more companies you got representing you from Asia, the more fans you can touch from those countries. And after that incident that Kennedy had, even though, again, it's just more like a young guy messing, you know what I mean? It wasn't too crazy in my opinion. I don't think that, these companies will be happy representing Chelsea if, they got a player like that. So, yeah, I don't see him having a future, unfortunately, but I think he's going to have a big career.
So, Sunday comes. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I've already said that in your channel. But you don't think that, do you, Nini? You think something totally different, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think differently. I think, as I was saying before to my channel, I think teams used to have this blueprint against Chelsea based on the managers we had before. You know, Mourinho, Conte, very pragmatic managers. And I felt that this is why they felt very confident playing against us. But now Chelsea have evolved tactically. You know, we're playing football similar to the biggest clubs in the world. And I think that that's going to cause a lot of issues tactically for opposition teams.
Your record, I just want to touch on that. I've got to bring this up. Your record at St James's Park is awful. The last 5 fixtures, you've played 5, won none, drawn 1, lost 4. That's a really, really poor record considering you're one of the big boys in the Premier League. What is it about St James's Park that you always seem to struggle? Whether it's Mourinho or whether it's Conte or whoever's in charge, what is it? Is it the stadium? Is it the atmosphere? Do you think Newcastle just rise the occasion? Why is your record so poor?
Again, I'm going to blame it on guys like Mourinho and Conte, because when these guys weren't the manager, we actually were, we were pretty successful against Newcastle. I think those managers seem to have the issue. Anytime I critique managers, I personally think it always comes down to the tactics, and I think that Newcastle were always able to play their game. We never really stopped you guys from doing that, and I think this is why you've always done so well under Mourinho and under Conte as well. But I think that with how we're playing now, I mean, look how you guys have played against teams like Liverpool and Man City before. We're playing a bit of a similar style to that, so I think this is why we've got a bit of an advantage.
Fantastic. Well, Nini, I want to thank you very much for coming on the channel.
Thanks for having me on, man. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem. Nini, I've done a preview for Blue Lines TV. That's up now. There's a link in the description. Have a look at that. It's got some nice graphics. Good Chelsea channel as well. It's going to go places as well. So do pop over. Have a look at there. You'll see my ugly mug on there. But let us know what you think. Chelsea fans, if you're watching. Newcastle fans, what is the score going to be? What do you make of the comments made in today's video? Have a nice night. Watch what you're doing. Ta-da. Bye-bye.